Assalamualaikum. Exhibition Kid Sabir here again. I normally start with this greeting, so you have to bear with it. I have been enrolled in Pakistan Air Force in 1993, December 29th, and I quit Air Force in 1996 for my own personal reasons. My nose. Okay. There will be a detailed video on that, my journey through the Pakistan Air Force, and a few episodes I have uploaded already. You can go through them, and I keep my medium in English. Reason being, you have to be part of Pakistan Air Force, so you should have command in foreign languages. So today the topic is about the final medical before joining the Asker Mall Academy Risalpur. And I tried to check online. I checked YouTube. There was not much information regarding this particular stage. Let me break down the stages again. Number one is the initial test, which is held in your local selection center. Number two is your medical, which is again held in your local selection center designated hospital. Number three is the interview, initial selection center. Then you're called for the subject tests, again your initial selection center. Then you have a call for ISSB. That's among the 8 or 10 centers in Pakistan, all across Pakistan. You'll be called for one of them. Once you clear Inter-Services Selection Board, then comes the medical. Okay, that's stage number 6. Okay, I say 6, this is Chinese way, 6. And after that is the final call. So till stage 7, you never know you're gonna be selected or not. So you have to clear all these stages, and stage number 8 is to enter the gates of Pakistan Air Force Academy Risalpur, which is now known as Asker Khan Academy. Asker Khan was our Chief of Air Staff, and he made remarkable changes in Pakistan Air Force during his time, so he is credited for that. That's why the name of the base is on his what you call it, achievements. Final medical. So before I switch to the final medical, we need to know how many medicals do we go through before becoming a fighter pilot. So Muhammad Farhan, this video is for you because you have asked me a question in some other videos, and I'd love to answer. So this is for Farhan. I checked, Farhan has no subscribers and no videos, nothing, and he has been here for 2 years, and I love your profile picture. Yes, men are the best, Pakistan military forces. So I would give out all the information which I have, and you would not find it on YouTube. I can promise that. So joining the academy, 2 medicals. One is at the initial selection center, and I have in my previous videos have told about that one. It's a very tough medical actually, and mostly what they do is they check your eyes, they check your hernias, they check your sexual gender, and the chest measurements, the height measurements, the weight. So all this information you can get from all other videos as well. So which is basically, I mean, then the medical surgeon, he comes in and he checks you up, and then the one who checks your bones and skeleton skull. So internal and external, everything is checked. You should have any kind of scars like I have now. I didn't have back then. There we go. If you have this kind of scars, you're doomed. You can't be part of Pakistan Air Force. So I'll stick to Pakistan Air Force standards. Your ears, eyes should be 6x6 because 2020, or 6x6, and sometimes 5x6 is also acceptable. Sometimes if you are nearsighted with the glasses, that's also acceptable, but you have to apply it. You have to request for that. but most of the time they would choose the candidates who are on the level 6x6. So once you initial test, once you walk into the separate room where it's only you, they cover your one eye and let you point to the directions of the E's, and then they cover your other eye, and then they check both the eyes and then determine your eyesight. And after that is your ears, nose, and throat check. So they use that kind of thingy and check your ears. That they are normal. Mine were very bad because I used to play cricket in dirt, so they were very dirty. He couldn't see my membrane, so he asked me to. He gave me 7 days to clean them up, and I did. Use 7 days playing cricket again, and I didn't clean my ears. So once I went for the, because they put a temporary unfit, TUF, and then give you, and under that slip they give you, the receipt they give you, under that there's a kind of saying that why have you been deferred and you have to come back again. So that's what happened to me. 7 days later I came back, it was still dirty, you couldn't see my ear membrane, eardrum. So he said, well man, we gave you 7 days and so I'm gonna unfit you. I said, okay sir, please give me one more chance. He said, okay, so you have 2 hours. I said, okay. So I went to a clinic next door, very near Pindi Sadar, and we call them Dr. Tunkaran. So he used a rod, steel rod, and cleaned my ears up, which damaged my ears. So when I went back to the doctor, he checked my ear. He said, you're bleeding. And I was like, what? He said, he damaged your eardrum. But anyway, the doctor said, well, it's not, because you were so young, 17 at that time, so it's going to recover, so I'm going to clear you up. So he actually, on the basis of doubt, he cleared me from, because my ear was just dirty. I have to confess that. So once I passed that one, now let's roll back to 7 days earlier when I was underweight. The minimum requirement for my height was 49 kilos and I was only 43 kilos. Under nutrition, Pakistan Zindabad. So eventually my mom came up with a solution, and I ate the equal amount of bananas that day. And that's another story I will tell later. And I went and I stood in a queue for about 2 hours, and those bananas, they were digesting, you know what I mean? So I had a pressure to go to the toilet, but I just stayed there and I was farting. And it was stinky, so the guys, they said, okay, you go first. So I crossed the line, bypassed the line of around 200 people in front of me who came for re-medical. So Air Force gives you a chance to make sure that you are gonna be fit. So they don't just say, okay, hit Nazi thing, you're like, okay, you're done, out, no. Well, in Army, I've experienced with that one, they are Nazis. They just say, you are done, you go home. That's it, period. But Air Force gives you chances so that you can come back again if you're fit to because it's everyone's first time to apply. So eventually, the first medical, I had met more difficult situations. In initial medical, that was held on the selection center in front of the Askari Bank Sadar Pindi. So, well, eventually I went through and I got my call for ISSP. I cleared that one. After clearing the ISSP, now it was the final medical. Now that's the main topic, right? So, final medical is held in Karachi. So we were given the air tickets by the Air Force, by the way, and bought the tickets, and they reimbursed in full. I remember I flew through Hajwari Airlines back then, bought the return ticket to Karachi, and we stayed there for about, if I'm not wrong, 14 days, at least 10, at most 14 days. And I'll drop a picture of us. We were divided into a group of 14 to 15 people. And my batch, AKRC, ISSB AKRC, Alpha Kilo Romeo Charlie. That was the first batch of our course. And we were 6 cadets among that batch. I think 3 are retired, 3 are still serving. They're Air Commodores now, and going to be AVMs in 2 years, Air Vice Marshals. So that's equivalent to Major General, right on there at the level of Brigadier in military, in Pakistan military. So they're going to be on the level of Major General in 2 years. So there's a future ex-Major General in front of you. Ex-future Major General. Well, anyway, so I took Hajveri Airlines, and that's where I met my first, no, not the first time, yeah, I will not say, but no, the first potential course mate, because at the SSB we met, me and Mr. N. I don't have consent to say the name, so I won't. So me and Mr. N, we flew together to Karachi, and we stayed on NCO's mess. It was near Karangi Creek. Not Karangi Creek. It was near Kimari, Manora Kimari. NCOs are non-commissioned officers. They go to the ranks of like junior tech, then corporal tech, then senior tech, then warrant officer, and then chief warrant officer. So this is non-commissioned, and then commissioned officers, which we start from the pilot officer, then flying officer, then flight lieutenant, then squadron leader, then wing commander, then what was after wing commander? Group captain, and then air commodore, then air vice marshal, then air marshal, and then air chief marshal. So these are different steps of NCOs and COs, commissioned officers and non-commissioned officers. But we were not fully officers. We were just potential cadets. So we stayed with the NCO, and that was beautiful. I mean, the arrangements, the sitting, I mean, the rooms, great, big rooms with I think 3 beds in each room, and it was a huge room. I mean, trust me, it was like around 3 to 4 Merla room with attached bath inside, all the kitchen inside. So it was great, and we were eating at the NCO's mess. The food was all on the Air Force. Everything was on the Air Force. T.A.D.A. was given us, I think, back then was 50 rupees a day. That was, by the way, at the end of the medical, we were given by the finance section, that money was returned back, the air ticket money and the T.A.D.A. traveling allowance and the daily allowance. So now, once we reported there, we submitted all our documents to the required. There was a person to receive us all the time. So because we came in different vehicles and different things. So once we reached there, we were sent to our rooms, and we were told after 10 o'clock, do not eat anything. And yes, we have to go fasting. So, because final medical for the Air Force is actually, it's done by science. Initial medical is all physical. Doctors check you with their own, with their organs. They check you, physically check you, but final medical over there is nothing like that. They take your blood test, they take your urine test, they take your hepatitis C test. So these kind of tests, nothing else. Nothing. It was not as tough as the previous one. Initial test, we had to get naked, and bend over and get our butt cheeks away, and then they'll put a flashlight into your anal hole. But in the final medical, we had nothing of that sort. Nothing. Even when I went, I was wearing shalwar kameez. I remember when I went for the physical test, medical test, external body, and the doctor said, "Are you wearing an underwear?" I said, "Oh." So I'm wearing shalwar kameez, and I'm not wearing an underwear. He said, "Okay, so just keep it on." Yeah. And then I said, "You're not going to test like the initial test. They even check your balls, They hold your one ball and ask you to turn left and cough. And then they hold the other ball. There's a staff that actually does that with the gloves on. And then you look toward the other side and you cough. But for the final medical, nothing. And then there's a myth that in the final medical, they put you on something and revolve you. No, nothing of that sort. That's called CMB, Central Medical Board. Once we finished flying on Mashak aircraft, PFT, primary flying training, and when we convert into the jet trainers, before that, we go for the medical again. That's the third medical, by the way, in Air Force, but first as a cadet, re-medical, and that's also held in Karachi. But that's when we live in the officer mess on Masroor base. And you were given the conditions of an officer, and again, we were airlifted. We went with on C-130 and went for CMB, stayed there for about a week or two, and then there are many tests being done there, all in pressurized chambers. So they give you different heights and reduce the oxygen, and then check how you're gonna perform, behave after before getting into deoxygenated and getting into the state of hypoxia, which is oxygen getting cut off to the mind. So anytime when you're pressing your plane, the mask falls down, put it on right away. Otherwise, you will get straight away hypoxia. And we are trained, I mean, we can sustain this condition for about a minute, but a normal person, 15 seconds to 20 seconds, that's it, done. And the oxygen on the airplane is 10 minutes long. So once you're breathing, be stingy on that, be conjuice on that, and don't take much deep breaths. Just make it as long as you can, because you never know when the plane is gonna land. But anyhow, the safest way to travel is the airplane. So anyhow, so now if you don't fast before the medical, before the blood test and urine test and the other ECG and you know, all these tests, ultrasound and no MRIs, X-rays. Why you have to fast? Because if you eat anything, the glucose levels, they get higher and your liver is working, so your hepatitis levels are going to be higher because it's going to show like that. But if you have empty stomach, no water, nothing, your liver is on rest. And once the liver is on rest for 10 hours, it gives the least readings for secretion of the things which are harmful for the body. So before going for the test, I would recommend you to drink as much water as you can a day. If normally you drink 4 cups of water a day, 4 glasses of water a day, increase it to 4 times, drink 16. If normally you're drinking 8 cups of water, drink 16. So minimum 16 glasses of water a day, and your routine should be because water drains out all the acidity in your body, and your tests come purely right. And a lot of extracurricular activities, you have to stop them before, at least a month before the final medical. You know what I mean by extracurricular activities. It's masturbation or stuff like that. Stop doing that. Because sometimes people start to have those, you know, the drops of the sperms coming out of your penis. So yeah, it's better stop doing all those activities. And morning walks, that's it. Cut down on all kinds of junk food like burgers and, you know, oily food. Just before the medical. After that, you can do anything you want. In the Air Force, oh my God, we used to have French fries all the time. Every night we used to order big. And by the way, that's not allowed, so we used to bribe the chefs to deliver that after the lights off, which is 10:30. So they used to come, knock at the door, and we used to eat, cover the blankets, you know, get the lamp on, because those blankets are really light proof. Light doesn't go out. So and sometimes you get caught, and when you get caught, you have consequence. So once you go there, once you join the academy, there's no diet restrictions, and the other medical for CMB, that's also not a big deal. So again, another suggestion that before you go for the final medical, which is not difficult as the initial medical test, I'm telling you, it's all your physical tests, ECG, X-rays, blood, urine, and these kind of tests. Machines do the test. So I suggest you that you better have those tests done before you go, so that you should have an idea that where you're lacking, where you have to, because you're young, you can improve. Now, the second question Mr. Farhan asked was about the bow legs and the flat feet. At the age of 16, 17, and 18, a boy can modify the bones until the age of 21. So even if you're flat foot, put a golf ball in your shoes and walk on that one for a month or 2. Your flat foot problem would be solved. Trust me, because bones are very soft of young teens. So they have tendency to bend. I'm not saying tennis ball. You can put tennis ball in too, but golf ball is going to make a big difference, but not over a month. And tennis ball, you could use it all the time. Now, knee locking is a how do they check the knee locking? I'm going to send my own video on the sides. I will show you. Normally, what you do is you stand with your feet facing front, toes facing front, and then they check your knee lock. So these are your knees, right? Your feet are facing, toes are facing front. So they check your knee lock. If you have a knee lock, that's a problem. So there's a technique for that you can actually keep your feet together and extend your knees to a side, and they would put their hand between your knees like this, cut it, so that if you're doing it on purpose, they're going to come back, but practice if you have knee locks. Second thing is, what they do to tell you is to get your toes apart like this. So you, not all the toes, I mean your feet are like this, so you get your feet towards the sides. And once you get the feet towards the sides, the knees locking comes back in again. So that's the second way to check the knee locking. And again, you can always practice to get your knees away from each other. Now that's a jugaad. There's another way. Horse riding. And we know we don't have horses so abundant in Pakistan in any of the areas. But if you could do that, horse riding for a month is enough to get this knee locking problem solved. Second, get a basketball, and when you go to bed, put the basketball between your knees, get it stuck here, and go to bed and sleep, and use it until the medical, and keep checking every day that is it. And then do the splits, the stretching, get your feet apart, like this, every day, and try to get down and down and down until you touch the ground. So these 3 exercises are enough. I don't have this the major problem because I was an athlete and used to play cricket and football and running, running a lot, and bicycling. So I didn't have much of the problem, but I still took the countermeasures, and went through all these exercises apart from horse riding. We were taught horse riding in Air Force. So if there's a knee locking and flat feet, no branch of Pakistan Air Force, Pakistan Army, Pakistan Navy takes you in. There's a scientific reason behind that. If you're flat foot, once you touch the ground, this whole impact is on your brain somehow. Yes. So they want to distribute when you're flat foot. Once you are not flat foot. So now the pressure is divided into 2, so the impact on the brain is less. That's why we call them boots. Now you understand, because they touch their heel to the ground too many times and problems come in the brain. Yes. And next thing, knee locking, because you have to run, you have to do exercise, you have to do a lot of things during your cadetship and during your training. So if you're running, imagine your knees, they touch each other, you're gonna fall. So they don't want to have this problem. So that's why no branch takes you in if you have these problems. But if you have joined the academy and later you develop these problems, doesn't matter at all. The only problem which is later for GDPs is, and not only for GDPs, for anyone, is heart murmuring. And heart murmur is anytime it's detected, you are off the service. You go home. Heart murmuring is your heart behaves abnormally when you are under stress. And when you're under stress, you would always be under stress when you're working for military. So if your heart is not pumping properly, you can't make decisions. So that's why they kick you out all the time. But knee locking, if you develop that after joining, doesn't matter. They don't care. So that's my whole 2 cents on this video. So hope I have cleared everything and you won't find this information anywhere. Wish you good luck. Man at the best, Pakistan military.